Hello. Somebody has asked for some help on the Manim Discord, and I thought it would be fun to record a video showing how I will try to help them. So they're looking to make this image with these two-dimensional shapes, and this is what they got so far. As you can see, that is not quite what they're looking for. So the trouble is they made a single square, and they made a bunch of copies of it in a V group, and then they arranged it into a grid. And that results in this. But they're not trying to make a grid. They're trying to make this 2D illusion cube. I asked for some clarification here, and unfortunately I haven't gotten it back yet. But I think what they're looking for is just like one of these 2D diamond shapes, and a bunch of copies of that shape arranged in this particular way, so as to make the illusion of a cube in out of two-dimensional shapes. So that's what we're going to try to do here. Alright, so first things first, as always, we're going to say from Manim import everything. And then I think I'm also going to import some of my custom tools because I think they'll be helpful here, at least one of them. Alright, so now let's call it, I don't know, cube. I probably shouldn't call it cube. Cube illustration. Alright, so what I want to do first is make that, one of these basic shapes. I think I'm going to start with this one up at the top here. Now, let's think. I want to consider this to be the origin, and then I'll go this way, and then I'll go this way, then I'll go this way, and then I'll go this way. Okay, so really I need to come up with a vector that points in that direction. So it seems to me to be 30 degrees, right? Like if you went, like what am I trying to say? Like 30 degrees from horizontal. Like a horizontal line going this way, if you rotated 30 degrees, would get you to that one right there, right? So that's what I'm going to try and do. Let me call it, I don't know, direction A. I have a function from MF Tools called vsys, which takes in an angle and spits out that unit vector pointing in that direction. If you want to look at how that's actually defined, it's literally just, cosine right and sine up, So simple as that, but I find that to be a helpful shortcut. Okay, so that's the deal with direction A. And then let's say direction B is the one that goes that way. So I suppose that would be 150 degrees. 150 degrees. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to say diamond is going to be a polygon. Now remind me, how do I make a polygon again? I give it the vertices. Okay, yeah. Right. And I don't have to give it the last one, right? Or do I? Looks like maybe I do. No, this example illustrates that I don't. Okay. Like, don't have to give the final one twice or anything. Alright, so let's go ahead and make this polygon. So I'm going to have it start at the origin, right? So I'm going to imagine that this right here is the origin, and then I'm going to go in that direction. So after that, I'm going to go direction A. And then I'm going to go from there to there. So that's going to be direction A plus direction B. So direction A plus direction B. And then after that, I got to go down here, which is subtracting direction A. So essentially, that's just direction B. And then after that, I'm going to head back to the origin. And so that should be it, honestly. Let's add that to the scene and see if that looks correct. Alright, so I'm not in the venv here. Let's get into the venv. Now I'm going to say Manim, where the hell are we? Discord assistance is the folder. Virus -.py is the file after the name of the gentleman that I am assisting today, hopefully. Okay, and it's going to do that, and it made it. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and do PS to preview it and also let it know that it is just meant to render an image. There it is. All right, yeah, I'd say that looks pretty much correct. All right, fantastic. Easy peasy. All right, now I'm going to say a row. So, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I got one of these things. Now I'm going to copy it 3 times to make this entire row right here. All right, so I'm going to say row is just, let me get rid of this now. Row is going to be 3 well, hold on. Let me think carefully what the hell I'm doing. Okay, V group. I don't have my IDE set up to automatically do the indentations in the way that I personally like, and I find that irritating, and I always struggle to find the right settings. Okay, anyway, it's correct on my other computer. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm going to make a copy of diamond, first of all, and then I'm going to make another diamond of copy of diamond, but then I'm also going to shift it in the direction A direction, and then I'm going to make another copy of diamond, and I'm going to shift it in the A direction twice, like that. Now, definitely there's a smarter way to do that, or more concise way to do that. I could have done that with list comprehension, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with face, except for the face, I want to make this entire thing. So what I'm going to do is take the rows, and I'm going to shift them in the other direction, like that. So I'm going to take this face, or this row rather, and I'm going to make 3 copies of it, shifting it this way. All right, so that should do the trick. Now let's add that to the scene. I forgot to call that something else, face. And we'll see what it looks like. Perfect. Looks exactly like I was imagining. That's fantastic. And now finally, I think I should be able to do cube is going to be a V group. And I'm going to say that it's face.copy. And now the other ones, I'm going to rotate the entire face by the appropriate angle, right? So I'm going to rotate this one by 120 degrees. About the origin, right? If I don't say about the origin, then it's just going to rotate around its own center, which is not what I want. I want to take this top face and rotate it 120 like this around this center point. And then again, like that around that center point. Let me just show you what it looks like if I don't do that. And then I'll do it again 240 degrees, or I could do it, you know, negative 120 or something. All right, that should pretty much be it. Let's take a look. Haha, yeah. So I took this face and that looks pretty cool, actually. I like how that looks. I just took that one face and I rotated it around its own center, which is this point right here. But I didn't want to actually rotate around its own center. I wanted to rotate it around the origin. So I'll add about point origin to both of those. And now it should look correct. So there we go. We've done it. We have created the cube shape that Mr. Virus Minus was looking for. There's a couple dissatisfying qualities, like I'm not a big fan. Whoops. Oh, I'm not a big fan of that. That's just kind of an unfortunate quality of the way that it makes the corners, though. Can I reasonably do anything about that? Yeah, let's take a look at All right, well, one thing is we should change the, well, let me do it this way, actually. We can do that, and looks like to match his, it needs to be a little... What is the default stroke width? 4. So let's make it half that, let's say. And hopefully that looks a little better. Uh-oh. Set stroke... Oh, my bad, my bad. Yeah, that looks a little better. And that problem is reduced. In fact, that's a helpful thing, but it's still not completely gone. All right, you can still kind of see it there, a tiny, teeny, tiny little bit. If we really wanted to get in there and fix that, is there anything we can reasonably do about it? Well, maybe we could take a closer look at polygon, polygram. And what's the deal with its round corners? Okay, let's just try hitting it with that, actually. Yeah, that didn't exactly work, did it? What the hell is that? No, sir, that was not quite what I was looking for. I guess that's because the default radius is way bigger than we want here. So let's maybe crank that down a little bit. Give it a 0.05. That might be a little more reasonable. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, but still, that looks kind of cool in its own way. It looks like a plastic Rubik's Cube or something. That's pretty cool. But no, let's crank it down even further. Eh. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, honestly, I think that's satisfactory. All right, I'm calling it. I'm calling it good. I'm calling it good. Let's actually do a even fatter resolution. Let's do double. Oh boy, can I double these numbers in my head? Wait, which way? I always don't remember which way comes which. Is it width and height? I'm gonna guess that. So I'm gonna say 3,840 2160. I think I did that correct. Let's see if that checks out. Yeah. And now the image is twice as resolved. It looks plausibly twice as resolved. Yeah, and you can see it's not really ideal on the edges there. If you really wanted to do it like ideal, you'd have to make the hexagon. You know, we could plausibly do it. Actually, hold on. Let's see if we can do it. Let's say we'll add the cube, but then we'll also do an outer hexagon, which is, well, I was going to make it myself, but I suppose I could actually just use that. Let's just see what that looks like. Right, looks bad. Looks kind of cool though in its own way. But yeah, so we're gonna need to rotate it and then scale it by 3. So let's give that a try. We're going to rotate it by 30 degrees if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we're going to scale it by 3 around. If you scale it, it's going to be default by its own center, but in this case, the center is the origin, so that should be just fine. And that seems to have done it. So it's hard to tell, but there is an additional object on top of the other ones, right? And that's covering the little missing corner piece. So that was honestly some over-the-top perfectionism, but hopefully that is good. And just to be, what the hell did I just do? I opened up the wrong thing. Let's just add that to here. Cube and outer hexagon. All right, perfect. So there you go. That's how you make a, whatever the hell you call that thing. One of these in Manim. I'm going to give this code to Mr. Virus Minus, and I hope he finds that satisfactory. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.